Hello, YouTube. This is Renisha coming on again just to talk about God and how good He is and how I learn things about myself and I'm constantly learning other things just in my daily, everyday life. God has a way of revealing things to me in such a practical way, and I'm like, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. So I attended a funeral at my former church, and they needed some volunteers, so I knew I needed to get there extra early. And it was at a church where I've never actually been to this church, but they wanted it, a bigger place. So I had to use my GPS, and I knew my little mountain was getting old. I'd ordered and bought a new one. I just hadn't hooked it up yet. So as I'm on the tollway driving, my phone falls, and I'm like, oh man, I can't see anything. And I knew that I couldn't try to reach down and pick it up, not on the tollway with all that, with so many cars, and it was just a lot going on. So I couldn't safely pick up my phone. So I wasn't too happy about that, but I just kept driving. I said, well, at least I can still hear. I can still hear my next step, so I just might be okay. Well, I actually was more than okay. So yeah, I couldn't see the next step and I couldn't see the arrows or all the other things, but I quickly learned that it really didn't matter if I couldn't see my next step or the next turn, as long as I could hear, okay, in 200 feet, turn right. That was enough. I only needed one set of instructions. I didn't actually need all of the instructions, which is what I was used to seeing all of that. So I guess it's more of like my own comfort level kind of thing. But I learned that with God, He doesn't give us all of the instructions. He doesn't tell us all of the steps all at once. That's just how He is with me. I never get the full picture. I never get all of the steps. I'll get one step, or I might get a vision of the end result, but I don't get the steps that are leading up to that one and then that one. So it puts me in a position where I have to constantly listen to Him, hear His voice, trust in His word. And so I'm reminded of the verses in Proverbs 3 and 5 and 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. And I love that verse because it's true. It's not necessarily easy if you're somebody that likes order and organization like me. Trusting for each step doesn't necessarily come easy for me, because I just want to know, okay, well, what's going to happen with this and what's going to happen next. And I want to know all of these so that I can organize and plan accordingly. But that's not how God works. When He gives you that one step, we have to obey and follow that one step. And it's all about trusting in Him. He's a good Father. He's not going to lead us wrong. So even in something so simple like that, I was just quickly reminded, just trust God. Drown out all of the other outside influences and listen to Him. I didn't need to see the map. I didn't need to see my phone on the map. None of that was really important for me. It was just something that made things more comfortable for me. But all I really needed was a good Wi-Fi signal and to be connected enough just to where I could hear the voice. And it's just like the voice of God. Our spirit has to be connected and so in tune with Him so that we can hear the next step and we can make the next move. But not just any move, but the right move, the next move that God will help us to make. So I know it was like a silly thing to get on here and talk about my phone falling and all this stuff, but it just reminded me of life and how we really have to hear the voice of God, and we really have to be ready to follow the next step every time. Although it's just one step or one thing that He's saying, that one thing is so important because it leads us to the bigger picture, the bigger destination for me. And so of course I got to my, to the event at, I got there just on time, just as planned. And it was just a reminder for me that I really do need to trust in the Lord with all my heart and not lean unto my own understanding. I need to acknowledge Him, and He really does direct thy path. That is all that I have for y'all today. Bye. Be blessed.